top 5. We're talking about our top 5 countdown of special effects scenes with practical. We're gonna have some fun tonight if you're ready. We're at 55 minutes already.
Sorry, I feel like that's a great.
No, I love it. I love it, and I'm down for a part 2.
I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, next time you got to send us your notes, guys, so that way we're prepared with you. Because I draw it from like, what do I know? So, and I don't know everything, but we're gonna get started on this tonight. So we're talking about our top 5 practical effects in movies, like just different scenes that really kind of blew us away. I don't have many parameters on mine other than I just really dig them. I really dig these practical effects. So like I'm usually the one who's always putting like these strict parameters on. Does anybody have any parameters on theirs?
These are my favorite. They're not necessarily the most technical. They're just my.
I love it. What you guys got? Everything?
I'm gonna be honest with you, these were just the first ones that popped in my head. And I remember just thinking these scenes like, oh shit, or wow, or whatever the case may be. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna use them.
Love it.
That's pretty much how I did it too. I just kind of sat there. I didn't, look up anything like that. I just sat there and was like, what, 5 scenes jump out at me or that I think of with the topic.
You have like 8 pages of notes on regular effects, and you forgot to think about this one.
Yeah,
I love it.
This one took the least amount of thought.
Well, I mean, because you probably know already. You're a big you're like the practical effects, so I could see like where, like me, I had to put some thought into it because I'm like, I don't know. All right, number 5. Let's go around the horn. Let's start with Dan. Dan, what's your number 5?
My number 5, my notes. The Chestbuster from Alien, 1979. I love the usage of the fake torso and the bladder. And what really gets it for me is the puppeteering and the mechatronics that come up. Like just excellent scene.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Sturdy, what you got for number 5?
Society. The shunting scene. It really stands out. It's something. Yeah. It's one of those movies.
I try not to think about that scene, Sturdy. I try not to.
Oh well,
I love it.
and it's something you'll never forget. It's something I want to watch again. I've only seen it once, but like I could have just said shunting. I wouldn't even have to say the movie title. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, as soon as you said you said society, and I knew what you were talking about.
Yep.
All right, Paul, what you got for number 5?
I want to know a Terminator, the stop motion of the Terminator coming out the fire. Because I don't want to lie to you guys, I didn't realize that was stop motion. I did some research for the scenes I liked, and then I was like, holy shit, my whole life, I just never realized it was stop motion. I was like, kudos to you guys. That was fucking that's an iconic scene to me. Just makes me want to.
Drives me nuts about Terminator. Is that it's such a convoluted, crazy. After 2, you're just like everywhere. It's like, what is going on with this thing? All right, my number 5 for this one is the Raptors scene in Jurassic Park. Very cool mix. Like, I love their stalking and looking around and such. Like, it was just, I thought it was a cool scene altogether. So
how they open doors.
Yeah, like the whole thing. Like, even when he like lifts back up and he's in the window, it's like, oh, it's so crazy. I love it. It's the magic of film. But I told that story before about the Brachiosaurus scene. That means so much to me, but I did not put that on my list because that's like a personal favorite. But let's go with number 4. All right, let's start with Sturdy Bird. What you got?
Number 4, Dead Alive. The lawnmower scene was just so much freaking fun.
I love that.
So much freaking fun. I remember the first time I seen that, watching with my brother Henry, and when that scene came on, like, you could pull more scenes from that movie, but the smile on my face.
I was gonna say, not the zombie sex scene.
That was funny too. But just that lawnmower and all that blood and gore, I was just like, this is hilarious. This is awesome. It's weird. It's ridiculous. And it works.
Same director as Lord of the Rings, ladies and
Two
gentlemen.
Towers. He's versatile, man. Another good one, Sturdy, you should check out of his if you haven't. The Frightened.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Sturdy did his. I'll do mine. So my number 4 is the defib scene from The Thing.
Awesome.
That's number 4.
You got to be fucking kidding me.
That's number 4.
Yeah, but I mean, I really like the other one.
Okay.
I love that scene, and it's such a great. But it's number 4 in the top 5 of all of them. like there's so many.
There is.
Listen, I love it. Movies at Grandma's House says Jurassic Park is still peak. I agree with you. Don't shut up, Dan. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4, the trench run from Star Wars: A New Hope. The usage of miniatures, and when I was a kid, I used to sit in front of the TV, all 27 inches of it, which was big then. And like, I'd sit in front of the TV and I'd, go back and forth with Luke. Great scene, even though I've dogged on Star Wars a lot on this show. I still love that scene.
Your takes on Star Wars are dogged on the show. There's a difference. Don't play the woe is me victim card. It's your takes, sir. All right, Paulie.
I went with Space Odyssey 2001, the scene where you see the spaceship and then it zooms in and then it goes to him just walking up that, the treadmill, if you will, but just walking up the ship. I said that scene.
All practical too.
Just fucking Kubrick, man. And Sam and Matt have not seen that, so we're actually watching that this weekend. So I'm excited to see what their first watch experience is.
I've tried to get so many people to watch that film, and it's really hard to get people to watch that.
It is, but I'm glad you are. And can I urge you of something?
Yes, sir.
If you walk away liking it and thinking about it and really having deep discussions about it, don't do this next piece of advice. But if you do, for a while, you can give it like a week. But if you don't like it, you walk away and you're like, I don't like this. I promise you, it's the same that everybody goes through, except for Dan, because he knew before he went into the theater. But it's the same for everyone, me included. You're not going to like it because you're not going to quite get it. But then go listen to Stanley Kubrick's interview about what the ending means and the symbolism, and it will click for you and you'll like it.
What movie is this again?
2001 Space Odyssey.
Or go read the book. Arthur C. Clarke's masterpiece. It's
never against the books. Go read the books, but it's a Kubrick film, dude. See the film.
Right. I'm excited for them to watch it. I didn't realize I hadn't seen that.
I think you're gonna I like that. That's a good one. Wolverine Origins with the Claws is up there. I think he was talking about I don't know, actually. Was that the one where he was in the bathtub or bathroom? Anyway, let's jump on to number 3. All right, Dan the Man, what you got for us?
My number 3, the Chariot. I already briefly mentioned it. The Chariot Race from Ben-Hur, 1959, 100% practical. And actually, and I didn't know this until I was doing research, copied the 1928 Ben-Hur, but the 1928 Ben-Hur took 38 cameras to film. They did the chariot scene in 1959 with a normal crew set and actually built the set out. And they don't have the tech from now. So they would race around the Coliseum with the cameras attached to the chariot. And I was like, man, that's Cecil B. DeMille, right, Mick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was one of the ultra, what they call it, the Panavision. It was one of the very first Panavision movies.
Yeah, and trust me, it helped to catch on. And I honestly like those movies too. I would say watch The King of Kings, watch The Greatest Story Ever Told, watch all these like biblical epics that came out around that time, because they really
10 Commandments,
the filmmaking in that and the visual effects and the practical effects are amazing. Which leads me to my next one, Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Really?
It's from 1950, either 55 or 56, I believe.
Yeah.
I should have looked it up, but Sean Connery is actually in a very, very young Sean Connery.
Was he like 20?
Yeah, he was playing an Irishman. So it's kind of funny. But it takes place in Ireland. Darby O'Gill is the town storyteller, so to keep. He finds and catches a leprechaun, the king of the leprechauns, and chaos ensues. But if you go watch that movie, the visual effects in that movie that were all done practically.
In camera,
all done practically, or layering the film in a certain way. But they used and I'll tell anybody who sees the Banshee scene, who may know this, is a practical effect. And I urge everybody to go check that out. But go watch the movie. I know it's very dated. It's a Disney movie that takes place in Ireland in the 50s. Yep. It's like one of those family movies. But if you are a special effects fan, I do urge that. I have shown it
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it is. It was a famous Disney movie, but it just not the cartoons of the time, which were big. But I have shown this movie to visual effects artists, and they all are like, "Wow!" They looked into it because they're very interested in how it worked. That's mine. So, yeah, okay. Paul, what you
got? My number 3 is An American Werewolf in London. It's a transition scene when he turns into a werewolf. And I have a distinct memory of, I guess one of the main guys that did the makeup for that happened to be at Universal when we went down there to watch the makeup thing, because they talk about it. So I was like 9 years old, and I wasn't in movies then, but I just remember him talking about it and explaining it, and I was just blown away, just the patience and the thought process to do that. And it still amazes me. And that scene still tracks. I mean, I've yet to see a werewolf movie that doesn't either use that same thing or just throw CGI over it. And to me, I still think the practical effects of that look better than what anyone could touch today. So
agreed. It's still the best wolf transformation, in my opinion.
I disagree.
What do you think yours is?
Don't say Twilight, I swear to God.
Ginger snaps.
That is a good one, but I don't think it's the best. I think, come on, Werewolf in London.
I love ginger snaps in the transformation, and I think that it's a better metaphor than a male. I think it's a better metaphor than the male.
Yeah, but in fairness, your favorite character from Donnie Darko is Patrick Swayze.
That is not true.
I was about to be like, holy shit, are you serious?
No. I love that movie.
Roadhouse.
Oh my God, I
Sorry.
love Donnie Darko, but no.
He meant Roadhouse. Sorry. That's his favorite character in that movie.
Over the Top. Or is that Sylvester Stallone? That's my bad.
Over the top.
You're off on your 80s
Heroes
movies. Sturdy, what you got for number 3, man?
Hellraiser. The scene where like they take Frank's skin off and it's just the thing of his body or whatever. That was. I'm not a big fan of those movies, but that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really was.
That was impressive. And then I mean,
have you read the book, Sturdy? The book's called Hellbound Heart. It's by Clive Barker. What a phenomenal book, man! It is awesome.
He's the high priest, though. He's not Pinhead in that.
Yeah, it's called the High Priest.
All right. Did I go? Yeah, I went with Darby O'Gill. That was my number 3, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I went American Werewolf in London.
That's true.
That's right.
Number
and
2.
One thing I will say about American Werewolf in London too is if it is copied, it's never copied like it was. It's always like maybe you see a snout growing or you see a hand growing.
Yeah.
It's never the full body, which you're right. I think still stands the test of time. All right, let's get to number 2. Let's start with let's kick it off with Paul since we talked.
So I cheated. I have 2 for number 2 because I couldn't decide on 2.
Yeah,
so I'll start. So my first number 2 is going to be don't make fun of me. It's Smile 2. It's the main demon at the end because they use puppeteers. I'm big on puppets. And so I like that they barely put any CGI over the puppet for that scene coming out as the demon's coming out and has the face down in him. I thought that was awesome.
So good.
Second one is Late Night with the Devil, the scene where Lily's head is split in half and that being a practical effect. I thought that was awesome CGI, and just the fact that they did that, it looks amazing. And that's probably my favorite movie of last year.
That's fair.
That was my second favorite movie. Remember, that was my second favorite movie. I love that movie.
That's awesome.
Sturdy Bird, what you got?
The sadness, and just if you've seen the movie, the violence in that movie, just the practical effects they use in that. There's a reason why I love Asian horror film. They go there with the practical effects, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, they really do. What you got for me, Dan?
My number 2 is the hallway fight from Inception, which after doing research, I found out was entirely practical. I think that is probably the sequence wise anyway, the best scene that Nolan shot. But on top of that, like the fact that they did that practically using, honestly, the same thing that a lot of people did, Freddie did it. A lot of people did it. That's really impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because do you feel like choreographing counts as part of this in terms of it? Because it's almost like because it happens in the
choreographing, visual effects, special effects.
Yeah. I think that how that scene is shot is so visually impressive that I wanted to stand up. I don't remember if I did. I wanted to stand up in the theater. I was like, wow. And
not clap. Not say anything.
I'm not a clapper. I'm not a clapper.
Just stand up.
Yeah, I'm not a clapper. I didn't some people cheer and stuff at the theater. I don't, remember Endgame, everybody's cheered and stuff when they did I was like, oh my God, I'm not a clapper or cheerer. I do laugh at really inappropriate times during horror movies.
Me too.
Entire theater is silent and I'll laugh my ass off and my wife punches me in the shoulder.
It's gonna be so. I can't. I was gonna be real mean, and I'm trying to be nice. I was gonna be what part of Donnie Darko?
That movie's awesome. Go suck a fuck, Donnie.
All right. My number 2 is I should probably look. My number 2 is the Johnny Depp's death scene from Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Great choice.
And for the same, actually, 2 of my picks were inspired by 2 of yours, Dan, because I saw your list and I was like, no, that's not it. I want to go with this one. And I want, and not because I didn't like Inception's brilliant. And I was like, I kind of want to pay homage to the original with that. And I love that scene and the blood and everything else. Like it just is bonkers.
You know what the version is though?
What?
Fred Astaire. So
no, I just meant like that
turning.
That idea of like the turning and
apparently Fred Astaire was the first one to do that in one of his films where he's dancing on the ceiling of the room or something like that. And Wes Craven. This is my Freddy nerd showing in me that the number of times I've seen that documentary. Fred Astaire did it in one of the rooms, and Wes Craven loved that movie as a kid, so he wanted to pull it in the first movie. And he was like, "This is exactly how we do it. So well balanced, they could spin the entire room with one finger."
Well, they did it, and Lionel Richie did it for Dancing on the Ceiling.
Yep.
So, like it's been done, like the turning room. I think for me, like Inception or Nightmare on Elm Street, it's spectacle.
Yeah,
it's not Johnny Depp in a scene. It's the blood. It's the it's the whole idea of everything. And then of course Inception, just the fight scene, and then like all the high stakes to it. Like it's just brilliant.
You know what I wanted to list though? Have you ever seen? Oh, it's a Viggo Mortensen film where he is
History of Violence.
History of Violence, the bathroom scene where they're fighting in the bathroom.
I guess that for real. Holy shit.
Like that's so good. That whole scene. Now they're
that
naked,
whole movie is really
kind of weird, but like that's it. It's all shot in camera. There's no special effect. There's no. It's all the effects are all in camera. I want to list that, but I really do think Inception is more impressive. Sorry to take away from somebody else's time.
Did everybody do number 2?
Yeah.
Let's get to number 1. All right, everybody. So number 1 on the list. I'll go first on this one. And it was inspired by the chariot scene that you were talking about, Dan. And it's the Dark Knight chase scene and the truck flip. I feel like that's a modern day chariot scene.
Nice.
And just everything that went into it is
Great
truly
scene.
Brilliant. Like and I wanted to celebrate that on here. So yeah, that's my number 1. So let's go around the horn. Producer Paul, what you got?
So I put The Thing and I said any fucking scene, but specifically if I had to choose just one, it's got to be when he's trying to put those heart monitor on him and he's trying to pump him. Just goes straight through. I mean, I know it's coming. I'll still kind of just for a second, just because they're so quick with it and just everything that went into that scene and how hard it was for them to get that just right and timed. It's unbelievable.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. All the way into the spider head and everything. Yeah, it's fantastic. It really is.
Love it.
All right. Well, I'm feeling, Dan, what's your number 1?
I mean, that I literally wrote basically every effect from The Thing. And it, like John Carpenter does with that film is so impressive anyway. But the SFX crew, it's mind-boggling what they were able to accomplish using puppetry, animatronics, and in-scene makeup. I actually, my favorite scene probably isn't the reverse chest buster. That's kind of what I call it in my head. My favorite scene is actually the very first time you walk into the dog pen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the very first time I watched that was at my parents' cottage. We had this for the time it was great. It was like a 50-inch projection TV.
Mhm.
So I thought it was real cool. Surround sound watching it. I had rented it from Family Video. We went up for the weekend and it was a blizzard. It was a blizzard. And I got it recommended from a friend of mine. He was like, "Oh, you like 80s horror? Well, how about this?" And I was like, "I've never seen that." So I went to rent it. I'm like 16, maybe 15. And I sit down and I'm watching it, and they walk into that dog pen, and it was the suspense alone. But then suddenly they cut to the dog, and it splits. I know you guys talk about the werewolf transformation for 1980s. I think that is the pinnacle of transformation that takes place is the dogs in the pen.
I'll tell you, the scene that always gets me is the Windows scene when he tests the blood and it pops up.
Oh,
that gets me.
There's a lot of scenes there.
Sturdy, what you got for number 1, my friend?
And really quick, you know what is funny is I knew The Thing was going to be on the list, which was on all your list. I was like, I'm not using that movie, so I said Terrifier, the upside down scene.
Okay,
that one was wild, man.
Yeah, wild. It was awesome. And then the cool thing about it was a couple of years ago at a con, I wish it was still going around, called Scarecon. It was me, my wife, my brother Henry. And I had to panel. Well, my show had the panel for that Terrifier. That's when I was Terrifier too. But I had my brother do it because I was doing podcasting 101. But it was cool to hear the girl that was the woman that was hung upside down, like just telling her she was saying how it was cold, it was just a long day, and this, that, and it's I love hearing that kind of stuff from those type of films. And then for that scene, the way that scene is, again, for anyone that's seen Terrifier, all you have to say is upside down. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's a scene that just stuck. These all these things are just things that really stuck out to me. And there's like a hell of a lot more, but I'm like, I gotta narrow it down to 5.
It's hard. I wanted to put Raimi on the list just because he was so like groundbreaking, and I was like, I don't have room Like
Yep.
I didn't like
Mhm.
it's
Not
so
that hard or
Bro, a
easy. I
fun
mean,
one.
is it?
One one I almost threw on just to throw on Jason was the uppercut from Jason Takes Manhattan. Hilarious scene.
Oh,
No.
It's silly. It's fun. But then when you see the head in the cop car, you're just like, oh, how'd you get here?
All right, everybody. I'm going to bring up, because you might be watching this as a clip, listen to it, or watching the whole live or the whole thing later. Guys, remember, February 1st, 2025, 10-hour live stream starting at 3 p.m. Eastern with yours truly, all of us, the Scene Snobs, will be here to kick things off, and then we'll be hosting throughout the night and have great shows along the way. Everything goes towards the American Red Cross efforts towards the LA wildfire relief. We want to try and help them as much as we can. The GoFundMe is live. Everything is linked below. The YouTube and all that stuff is linked below. We'd love for you to be a part of it. Before I get to the end of this, let's kick it off with and always stay classy. Take care. It's Wild Porn.